Good evening. We present the news summary. The governor of the central bank, Carolina Bell, has said that as of next Monday, banks will remain open until 2:30 p.m. during weekdays, but will remain closed on Saturdays. In a press conference this afternoon, the governor described the inflation rate in the country as alarming and added that it would remain high in the coming months.
Inflation remains high for the month of June at 11.25 on a year-on-year basis and increased by 5.93% over 12-month average and by 0.29% in over the month. And for central bank that has the objective of price stability, this level of inflation is alarming for us. It's high in light that it erodes disposable income. In the short to medium term, the expectation is that perhaps it would remain high in light that international prices are rising in light of increased economic activity. But we are also mindful that in the country, the exchange rate has stabilized and in some instances have actually appreciated. So understanding the forces domestically and externally is critical for us, and this is why we're going to have a dynamic discussion with the private sector as to how those various dynamics are taken into account. But in terms of our future forecast, if prices, including the exchange rate, remain stable, our expectation is that prices should go down.
The telecommunication company Airtel has said that even during the tough COVID period, it would continue to invest in the country. Speaking during a courtesy call on President Ramkalawan and Vice President Afif at State House this morning, the managing director and chief executive of Airtel Africa discussed the company's investment plans in Seychelles.
In 1998, Seychelles was the first country outside India where Airtel established a branch. Since then, the company has offered several services in the field of information and communication technologies, such as mobile phone services, landlines, and internet services. During a courtesy call on President Ramkalawan, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Airtel Africa, Raghunath Mandava, accompanied by the Director of Airtel Seychelles, Amadou Dina, discussed the company's investment plans. Mr. Mandava said despite the tough economic period during the COVID pandemic, the company is still investing in the country so as to improve its services regarding mobile and internet connectivity.
We were also discussing about further investments in Seychelles and how to work on data pricing and to make it a lot more conducive for the people. In the last few years, even during the tough economic situation, we have increased our number of towers from 52 to about 78. We have built a data center, we are putting more shops. We are trying to see how we can get closer to our customers and continue to invest in Seychelles. Mahe Island, we seem to be pretty okay. The bigger problem that we have is Praslin and La Digue, where we have to reach through microwave connectivity on internet speeds. And we should start looking at a few more towers wherever it is required. We are working with our network team to tell us where are these gaps.
During his visit to State House, Mr. Mandava also met with Vice President Ahmed Afif, who heads the Information and Communication Technology Department, as well as his Principal Secretary, Benjamin Chopi.
In his message to commemorate the French National Day yesterday, the French ambassador, Dominique Mas, has had special thoughts for victims of the COVID-19 pandemic, both in Seychelles and in France. He also commended health workers for their mobilization in order to save lives over the past 18 months and also to ensure the vaccination of the population in record time. Mr. Mas was speaking during a special dinner at the Hilton North Home Resort and Spa last evening, where he was hosting President Ramkalawan and the First Lady, along with cabinet members and senior officers of the legislative and executive. Both Mr. Mas and the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Sylvestre Radegonde, also commended the excellent relations between France and Seychelles during the past 45 years. After a week that the United Seychelles has formed a workers' union, the United Workers Seychelles Union received its certificate of registration as a trade union this afternoon. This was held at the office of the Registrar of Trade Unions. Emmanuel Fideria, the General Secretary for United Workers Seychelles Union, accepted the certificate. Cabinet, in its meeting yesterday, chaired by President Ramkalawan, has considered a number of legal and policy memoranda. Among them is the Firearms and Ammunition Amendment Bill 2020. The bill will be presented to the National Assembly soon.
In respect of a proclamation issued by the President in accordance with Section 45(1) of the Act for persons in possession of firearms to declare and deliver them, the amendment will make provisions for such voluntary declaration and delivery not to be liable to criminal prosecution. Firearm or ammunition delivered will be confiscated and destroyed as directed by the Commissioner of Police. Cabinet was also briefed on the results of discussions with the OECD on the exchange of information, availability of accounting information in which the private sector representatives participated. Cabinet approved for all accounting information for the offshore entities be kept in Seychelles. This is a requirement for Seychelles to be upgraded from partially compliant to at least largely compliant in the Tax Transparency and Exchange of Information Supplementary Review at the OECD Global Forum, which will be necessary for Seychelles to be removed from the blacklist. Cabinet was briefed on the revised and ambitious nationally determined contributions report under the Paris Agreement. Cabinet approved the climate finance efforts and noted the preparations for the 26th Conference of Parties to be held in November 2021. Cabinet also approved for the creation of the centralized Seychelles Infrastructure Agency. The agency will be responsible to provide technical services for civil, structural, and mechanical electrical engineering and construction projects in government with the aim of improving efficiency and effectiveness in delivery. And Cabinet considered, too, the current government housing policies. Further work will be done to improve these policies.
The news summary. Thank you for your attention.